All right, if you're actually someone that relies on your memory to keep track of all the important things that you got to remind yourself of in the future, like a dentist appointment in 6 months, your to-do list for tomorrow, or quitting that free trial of the app you wanted to try out in order to not pay $250 at once for the annual payment in 30 days. And in this video, I want to basically show you how I never forget anything important in my life. From all the to-dos that I have, from all the appointments that I have, from birthdays to the great business ideas that I have in the shower. And it is by using the AHA method. No, not this aha, like rather this aha. And just think about this sentence. Your brain evolved to actually come up with ideas and not to hold on to them. Because our brains evolved to be the creative powerhouses of nature and to combine all the millions and trillions of information that we actually encounter each and every day to create new ideas, to create new plans, to create new things that bring humanity ahead. Like, hey man, let's invent fire. But there's one thing that our brain is basically really much bad at, which is remembering things. We all know this following situation. We just went to bed, our head hit the pillow, and we just want to fall asleep when suddenly we had an idea. Oh shit, I gotta do X tomorrow. Oh man, I have a great idea. Oh, I haven't contacted this person in a while. We have like this burst of ideas when we actually only want to fall asleep. And the thing is, we're tired, we're lazy, and we think like, yeah, I'm gonna remember this tomorrow for sure. It's really important. But guess what? Unless it's literally a life or death situation, like if I don't pay my rent by tomorrow, then my landlord will throw me out or whatever it is, then your brain regards it as not as important because the information is only in your short-term memory, hasn't entered your long-term memory, and the gist of it is that you will forget it by tomorrow. And think of all the great ideas you had late at night in bed that you forgot the next day, and you have no idea. It's such a pity. You have no idea what you even forgot. There might be like brilliant business ideas in these things, and it's such a shame that so many people actually forget all of these ideas. And instead of working against your brain, instead of like trying to, I gotta memorize more and more things, you actually want to work with your brain and make good use of the creativity, but just accept that your brain is not that good of a memorizing machine, at least in this regard. And what I propose here is my system that I call the AHA method, because it's always when I have like an AHA method that I immediately go somewhere and note it down. I immediately take action to enter this information that just stemmed from the AHA moment, and I put it into some sort of a system. It doesn't really matter, where I get automatically reminded in the future of the thing that I want to remember. As you maybe know, like I'm kind of not a fan of overcomplicated like productivity systems, and I see myself as the chill guy of the digital productivity world because I want a system that works for me, my lifestyle, but I don't want to have like these super complicated apps, ultra complicated Notion templates. I mean, like I like Notion a lot, but I don't want to spend like hours daily with it. I just want a system that supports me where I am. And I found out that I just ditched the idea of having a super almighty productivity reminding app that covers all of my different areas in life. I just now subscribe to the idea that I immediately have to outsource ideas that I had into some sort of a system. And exactly because I subscribe to the general idea of outsourcing my ideas and reminding myself automatically in the future, I explicitly don't have a fixed app, program, whatever it is that I use. So for example, I give you some examples how I use it and how you can basically do this too. So if you're lying late in bed and you have a great idea of something that you absolutely want to remind yourself in the future, instead of just entering it into my notes app or so, which is a possible solution and you definitely store the information, if there's something super important, then I would just open, instead of the notes app, I will open my alarms app and set an alarm for 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. and title it with whatever to do I have to remind myself of tomorrow. And this just makes sure that I immediately get reminded tomorrow. It's such a relief for my mind because I don't even have to think about retrieving the information in the notes app or so in the future, but I automatically get reminded of it in the future. Other things that I have to do, if there's some random ass things that I gotta do like next week, next 2 weeks, next 3 weeks or so, I would just somehow put it into my calendar, because the premise here is of course that you gotta use a calendar. I use Google Calendar for example, but I just create some random event like in 2 weeks when I have to cancel a subscription, which is really a pain in the ass. So for example, someone that I know, hi, you know who you are, but just for the sake of the video, I'm gonna call you James. James actually tried out Duolingo Max like the premium subscription of Duolingo. It was a free trial, and Duolingo actually said that they're going to remind James of quitting it if he doesn't want to continue it in the future. And what happened is they didn't remind him, and one morning he woke up and $250 were gone because the app automatically paid for the premium annual subscription, which is just a huge pain in the ass of things like that actually happen. Immediately told James that, look, you got to enter it into your calendar, and so that you automatically see, like, I know it's super trivial, and you most likely could think of it yourself, and you wouldn't have to necessarily enter it into your calendar, but it just is such a nice, just takes like the stress off your mind, and you can rely on it, and you know you gotta get reminded. With any subscription that you want to cancel in the future, if I have to return something for Amazon, for example, I will always place it, instead of just trying to think about it in the future, I would just place it in front of my front door, so that when I go out or leave the house, I already know that I gotta return this or I gotta send this package away. Or otherwise, for example, the post-it note is just a classic. When I gotta remind something the other day for the next day for work, for example, I would just place a post-it on my monitor to know if I write it down and stick it to my monitor, I'm gonna get 100% reminded of doing this thing tomorrow. And because I don't want to have like a monitor full of post-it notes, I will eventually tackle the to-do, which is just fantastic. Try the aha method and capture every aha moment that you have in some sort of a system. It doesn't really matter. You don't have to overcomplicate it. It's just some system that you know will remind you, and where you do not have to actively think about it in the future. It takes so much stress off your shoulders. It boosts your productivity like so much, and helps you to keep track of all the deadlines, of all the appointments, of all the to-dos, and all the birthdays in your life. And if you're not talking about to-dos, but rather about things that you really want to remember, important things for university, for school, for work, or if you want to study for exams where you cannot use post-it notes or your Google Calendar for it, and you actually have to keep it in your long-term memory, then make sure to click on this video right here, where I share secret tips and techniques from the USA National Memory Championship winner and how he actually memorizes everything he sees immediately. So make sure to watch this video to memorize everything for good. Besides that, thank you so much for watching this video, and see you next time. Bye-bye.
Chris, where have you been?
I don't know.